Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. I am doing a continuation of my lovely sexual magic tarot cards, and I had a wonderful comment the other day and a question if I could do a particular kind of read pertaining to these cards, and I loved it. And this read is going to be devoted to that, and it is, does this person that I'm thinking of also think and fantasize about me? Because this is about sexual magic tarot, we sometimes wonder as individuals, especially if we get these thoughts and ideas in our head, am I an utter maniac that I'm thinking all these thoughts, romantic, sexual, whatever, like all in vain, or is this other person also thinking and fantasizing about me? And also there's little clues to tell you one to one if they are, and I'll go over those after, because right now I am going to do a pick a card spread. Do they fantasize about me? Here's option 1, it's a citrine ring. Option 2, marcasite and mixed jewels. Option 3, amethyst. Now I chose rings because I thought they were lovely, because it's all symbolic, just like a lot of these cards are. They're symbolic of scenarios and different levels of elation that you have in love, and it's just a romantic twist. So I'm going to start over on the left at the citrine. So if you chose that, this is for you. Oh, also in the background cards, I chose balance and ego of the fairy cards, because a lot of times our egos are very involved in any kind of romantic encounter, because they're concerned, how we look physically, are we attractive, and a lot of that is ego based. So in order to find balance, we really have to drop that, because who cares? The more natural and relaxed you are, that is the exit of your ego and your natural self coming through, and nothing is really more attractive than that, than your just basic true self coming through, very natural. People appreciate that. I mean, just think of sometimes how people act quite differently if they're dressed to the nines in tuxedos and opera clothes or whatever. They feel a little more uptight and restricted in their movement and all those other things, as opposed to, say, a football jersey and a pair of comfortable pants, whatever. Your whole state is a little different. You're not as constricted, and you have a much more natural flow, and you're more relaxed, because it's true to how you normally would sort of dress. Okay, so we're going to begin over here with the citrine, and I'll zoom in on the cards after when I set them up. So if you chose this, your card is, and I want to make sure I don't get a glare, I wanted really good lighting here. It is the 9 of Wands. Oh, look at the artwork in that. She's sitting on his lap, and the birds, it's such a natural state too. It's just like the farming days. He looks like he could actually be working out and chopping down trees, because you see wood everywhere, and the animals in the background, and a villager over there. That's lovely. So I'm going to stick that up there, and then I'll zoom in on that after. I don't really want to mess with all the this sound and stuff once I got everything into the right place. I wanted to have things centered and stuff, and I chose apples as the backdrop, because we all know the Garden of Eden and stuff. And sometimes a lot of it is so nice, because it's just absolutely about that, natural state, and that just being attracted to someone. It's so interesting what your body does chemically, your eyes, your heart, your everything, your blood vessels. It's amazing. It's to have that state. And that's another thing that I want to touch on, because this card brings this out too. The fact that if you're wondering, because you take worry out of the equation, all that, because again, that's the ego. The ego is worry. When you're balanced, it's elation, hope, the newness, especially if these are new things. And I want to clarify in this too, that this is going to be, for this particular read, is going to be for singles and married folks alike. And it can be, if, is my spouse thinking about me, and how can I spice this up? But in terms of, are they thinking and fantasizing about me? In general, for singles, if it's someone you have your eye on, is this particular one right this moment. And let's see what we got. When we have the 9 of Wands, This is about euphoria, the magic of the lantern. The light of the lantern ensures the triumph over love, overwhelms the senses, and dispels the rivals and hesitations. So this, if you've been wondering and you picked this card number 1, if they have been sort of thinking and fantasizing about you, I would give that an emphatic yes. And when people are doing that, this is when you can tell when you're in person-to-person contact with them. And it's funny when it says euphoria, definitely, because it's all those hormones, all those little reactions that your body have. People act very differently when they're thinking about you on that level and romantically, and thinking about what it would be like with you and stuff. They have very clear tells. I mean, they get fidgety, they're at a loss for words a lot of the times, even if they have a lot of bravado, and they're very they have swag and they're normally very calm. They act a little differently because, again, their egos are also involved in this. They're thinking, oh my goodness, does he or she find me attractive, or am I looking crazy up in here? It's a very nice feeling, and it's flattering, but it's also a type of power that you wield. So knowing this, be gracious having their emotions and sort of their ego in your hands, because it's the most vulnerable somebody can be when they're truly, truly attracted to you, right? Okay, and we're going to follow that up. Oh my gosh, so you are getting double lucky in this scenario with the star. I don't want to block the light. The lighting is very different around here. So, this is saying in a very clear message, look to the future with hope and optimism, the power of faith to move mountains, happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. And lots of times when we are involved in new relationships or seeking them out, or somebody is approaching us, it can be very highly rough on your nerves, just everything, because you want to present your best self, and it can be very hard on you. So it's like the star is the magic card, the wish card. So yeah, when you're with this person, present your most natural best self. You know what I mean? Even if you feel like you want to be a little funny, lots of times that's the ego in people. When they're funny, they can think putting others down, being picking out other people's flaws, whatever is funny or comical, or somebody's going to chime in with that. That's the opposite, because that denotes an element of like cruelty and criticalness. And people, if they think they're going to be engaged in you with some romantic sense, and you're going to see their body, vice versa, all those things, if they think you're critical before they've even given that a thought, they may have a second thought, because if they see you in that light making fun of others and talking badly about other people, the first thing in their head is, oh my gosh, if this goes south, what in the world are they going to say about me? So always keep your banter light, positive, and kind. That's a huge, huge aphrodisiac for people, to see people emoting kindness and love and stuff. So that looks really good. If you chose that, I would give that an emphatic yes. They are thinking about you in that way, and they would like to get with you. So if you chose that, that is very good. But remember the element of humor, having kindness, that creates the idea of your balanced persona, and that you're open and you're kind-hearted. That's lovely. So let's see, if you chose the mixed gem ring with the marcasite. Oh my gosh, excellent. You have the Ace of Wands. So it looks like if you chose this, you are also there. And when you are also in this realm of, yes, they are thinking and perhaps also fantasizing about you. Especially, this is a very, very powerful card, because the Ace of Wands is a 1 card, a new beginning. I like that. And they're seeing this, sometimes that may be perhaps old relationships. When I always look closely at the background, because they have very specialized tiny fragments you can pick up on that. That one's quite obvious with 2 people in the background. That's perhaps spouses and people that they, not spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, perhaps spouses that they've left behind to go on to the Aces, which is a new relationship, which is something they're thinking about. So they could have you in that scenario in mind. And I just said to the people that chose the first card, to really keep your objectivity. And when people get flirtatious and they try to be funny sometimes, they think wit can connotate putting others down or picking out the flaws of somebody else. And that is the ego, and that's a big, big mistake, because in that person's mind that wants to pursue you, they're thinking, oh, he or she is highly critical, and if they're making fun of these people, what will she think of me when I am at my most vulnerable? So keep the banter lighthearted, positive, and make them know that you have that outlook on others, that you're not critical and taking them apart and trying to look for flaws, but you're trying to look for the things that are positive. And also, I said to the first group too, if you skipped over it, that there are telltale signs that are so obvious if somebody's very interested in you too. I mean, I've been on this earth for quite a while and really closely observed people, and I could tell right away when somebody was interested in me in that way, romantically or sexually. The tells are very obvious. Even if they are very naturally balanced and confident and together, they lose some of that confidence because they want to appear their best self, and that takes sort of an exertion that they don't have to use or exude every day. So it makes them a little off center. They might be at a loss for words at times. They might be sweating, fidgety. They go from foot to foot. They're looking around to see who's also listening in on the conversation with you, things like that. Okay, so this is fantastic though, the Ace of Wands. I absolutely love this for Are They Attracted to Me? Because Ace is about union. This is something that they want to bring about, the magic of the statues in the fire. So that is what that background is. So, oh, that's cool. It is a fireplace. So abandon is the surrender to oneself. One loses his own likeness to enter into something much greater. Again, that's perfect. He or she are dropping their ego, and they're coming over to, okay, so now there's two of us. So how do I fit this in this scenario? Because you have this person's, basically their ego, their heart in your hands, and it's a fragile state. Everybody feels very vulnerable in the very beginning stages of stuff because they feel critical of themselves. So make them feel super relaxed, and don't forget to let the compliments flow. Even the littlest things. People like when you notice really little things, like one time someone just said something super nice about my lower back, like I was wearing a special dress that had the bottom of the back cut out, and I'm sure it was my husband now of 100 years plus. No, but it was just like, you have the nicest, softest skin on your lower back. Things like that, and that's stuck with me for years and years and years, because it's something that they notice, that isn't obvious and is very sweet. So yeah, you're going to lose your own likeness, and then you sort of have it be a cohesive mix with the partner that you want to engage with. You know what I mean? Like, how do we fit together? How do our tastes align? Things like that. So that is a fantastic card if you chose that. And here is your oracle card. Oh my God, this is my favorite fairy oracle card. I want to get out of the light so you can see that clearly. This is the Six of Spring. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success and public recognition. So this is also just icing on the cake of your normal life, where I feel like you've engaged in some kind of business opportunity or skill set helping somebody, whether you're a charity, whatever, and news of success is on its way. And in the romantic realm, I believe that any communication you have with a significant other that you are interested in will go very well. You will be super well received, and they'll be relieved, because we can't always put the onus on the other person that we're interested in. Yes, they may be fantasizing and thinking about you, but they could have hang-ups about the approach method. The men that have always been attracted to my life are super, super shy people. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm such an extrovert. They have that shyness because I believe it's that beautiful quality of just sort of mystery, and I do believe in the still waters, running deep. And also, I like when words mean something and they matter, and if somebody's just in constant chatter mode and they're saying everything, you have to filter through all those words for meaning. You know what I mean? It's just that sort of thing. You're too inundated. So when they break that silence, it usually is with something that's very meaningful, and it's not just chatter. So if you chose that one, that's fantastic. You're very good news on its way. Look at the rich colors in this card are so amazing. I love the Six of Spring. It's just so regal and amazing. And there's a unicorn. Who doesn't love a unicorn? And that is the bomb right there too. I love that they said the figures in the fire. That's really cool. Yeah, and new beginnings. So yeah, if you're approached and that's the one, just remember what I said about being careful of how you choose your words, and that we're everything is positive and uplifting, so they know that it's not ego driven and that you're not going to damage their ego as well. Okay, and then the third one. Oh wow, 10 of Wands. Oh my God, I would say it's a 1, 2, 3 sweep across the board for whatever one you chose, that yes, they are definitely thinking about you in that way and fantasizing about you and thinking about you and, you know, wondering what you might look like in different scenarios and what could possibly go down. Because Wands are about action. Like these people are tired about thinking about it. So also you're, that this may turn into realities faster than than you think, especially if you open the door to them by, you know, being flirty. And I said with the other group as well, you know, there's certain tells for sure how people behave when they're around you. You know, they get a little more nervous. They kind of have fidgety eye contact. They're looking around to see who hears them. They self-groom. They fix their tie. If they're a woman, they fix their hair. They rub their arm. They touch your arm. Things like that. There's very super easy tells. And I'm actually going to do, I think my next video I'll do that, what the romantic tells are when people are interested in you, because there are dozens and dozens, and each one does have a significant meaning. It's so funny how we don't even know what our body language is telling people at times. So this is fantastic, and it's very heavy on the Wands, which is funny because that's about action. That's about taking action. It's not like Swords, like it's like thought. They're just milling it over in their head and tra-la-la, I just love to fantasize all day and think about this and that, but don't do anything. Wands are about people that want to do. And I love the title for this. It is called Penetrating. The Magic of the Toad. The power of the man meets the power of the woman. Success in love must satisfy both partners. So they probably have a little froggy in here somewhere. They always have little critters. I'll look at it over on the screen and I'll find it. So there's obviously, they always have fun hidden little gems, animals, symbols, things like that in there that are very helpful. So yeah, I mean, this is amazing and powerful. You know, success in love must satisfy both partners, and that is true. So that's, again, I have ego and balance over here because of that. In these types of relationships that are new and highly charged, the ego is very delicate at that stage because of course people are concerned about how they appear physically. Do they nobody has to fit any kind of mold or look any particular way, but people forget about that. You know, they think, oh my God, is this part of my body too big, too small? Is this my blah, blah, blah? They just run around with ridiculous things in their head that other people are not thinking about. And again, not bringing out any perceived flaws when people are talking to you, because you're just drawing attention to them. Nobody even notices these half the time. So by doing that, it can just seem a little insecure, and also you're dwelling on that. You know what I mean? You should be talking yourself up. This person is interested in you for a reason. You know, you have that vitality, that humor, whatever attracts them, and that's so beautiful. So again, all three cards, this looks like a yes for all of you guys, that these people are thinking about you and fantasizing about you and wondering what it'd be like to be with you. And you know, you can turn those thoughts into reality very easily by simply acting on it. And because they're so heavily dosed with the wands that are the action cards, I say you go for it. If it's something you want and you choose and you're in the mood for it and it's something you want to participate in, do it. Like Nike says, just do it. I put glitter on the counter because I thought it was twinkly and fancy. And then you've got the King of Summer. That's fantastic. Honorable, devoted, mature, and warm-hearted. A romantic partner you can trust. Excellent advice that comes from the heart. Getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. Yeah, this is fantastic. I feel like that other person that you have your eye on and you're wondering about, they are a steadfast person. You know, they have honorable motives and intentions, which is nice, and they're very romantic. And everybody needs a little romance, you know. It's part of the beauty of life, you know, being able to sit back and receive a little while. You know, in our hard-won victories in life, it's nice for someone to just present you something because you're you, because they desire you, because they think you're that special someone and they find you attractive in that way, because it varies to such an insane degree, it's frightening. Like, I know some people that are just attracted to 9 out of 10 people. They're like, but because they look for those things and they have that funny list, like they like that long, thick hair. A lot of it does have to do with fertility symbolism, like long, thick thongs, thongadong-dongs. That too, maybe. But like long, thick hair, clear skin, good hips, things like that connotate good health. You know what I mean? Because it's biologically, you're thinking, if I am going to, create another living being with this person, you'd like them to have long life, be happy, healthy and robust. So people do look for those sometimes just subconsciously. They don't even know they're doing that. Yeah, it's nothing about like it's funny what people think other people like, and they may just like to do it out of stuff. But I mean stuff like when you see Victoria's Secret fashion shows, and I love them for all the beauty of the costuming and just the pageantry of it is so beautiful. But I don't find that like erotic or alluring or anything like that. I'm not like, wow. And also, I feel like everything is so ridiculously over-sexualized on Instagram, all those things that when it pops up, it doesn't even shock me anymore. And that shocks me that it doesn't even shock me, that everybody's just got their buttocks out in everybody's face. And it's just too much. I find the subtlety of things and the things hidden and, that you don't know about the most alluring. So, yeah, this is fantastic if you chose this as well. So yeah, just remember a little mystery. Like I said, I don't know if it was this reading or the last one, that I always found the men and women out there the most attractive are the ones you really don't know everything about, or you haven't seen everything about them, and they have that air of mystery. You know what I mean? That's all what it's about. So yeah, this whole thing ties into, and I'm really glad. Thank you very much for the comment and asking me to do this particular read the other day, because it was a great idea. And a lot of people think that too. Of course, you're like, oh my, sometimes people look at you a certain way and you're like, what is their thought process up to? So, and it makes people feel good that they're desired. And if you chose 1, 2, or 3, guess what? Y'all are. So that is so lovely. And I'm going to pick one more card. I have the Decameron Tarot, and it's very erotic. I want to show you one evening. I'm going to do a read with these. I love this. So this is the overall energy, the Knight of Wands, which is about action, and knights are always chivalrous. So I feel like the overall energy for the approaches of these people that you're thinking about, wondering if they're thinking about you, is good intention. Again, just like this was saying, they are like the king of summer. They are for sure honorable and devoted. And sometimes people just are a little wacky when they're in love. They're chemical. I feel like their chemicals go haywire almost, and they're trying to speak and act like a normal human being, and yet of course their thought process, they're bouncing all over the place. So have a patient and kind demeanor about anybody that's approaching you in this sort of arena, because people deserve to be received well. It doesn't mean you have to say, yes, I'm so happy, let's go to town right now. It's that sort of thing of just thank you, even if you find out through coming days that they are not for you in that sort of realm. There's always gentle, nice ways that you can tell people, hey, I'm not quite ready for this right now, we can revisit this, or I'm sorry, I'm at a different stage in life, all those things. But just being balanced and letting go of your ego and just letting things be romantic, silly, fun, and natural. Okay, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This particular deck was so well received. It was, the highest views and comments and everything. People really liked this. So I'll be definitely doing this a couple of times a week with different titles and different ideas involved in it. So if this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because I really, really enjoy these comments, and then I can get some good ideas how to spruce stuff up and get nice variety in there. And I want to thank you again, and everybody. And this is going to be bi-weekly, this particular one. So this is for the next coming 2 weeks, the very beginning of September to the middle of September 2018. So keep your eyes open for all those sexy, sexy people coming at you and treat them well. Have a good night.